The forest held its breath. The moon, a silver eye, watched from above. Wind whispered through the ancient trees. It carried a chill, the taste of winter coming early. A young woman ran. Her name was Snow White, though her skin was now as pale as bone. Branches tore at her clothes, her hair. Fear lent speed to her steps, but it was not enough. She could hear it behind her, not the sound of feet, but something worse. A dragging, a slithering, the whisper of something hungry. Snow White stumbled, falling to the cold earth. She looked back, but the trees showed her nothing. Only the darkness and the feeling of being watched. The castle loomed above the forest, a crumbling monstrosity of stone, its towers like claws against the stormy sky. Lightning flashed, momentarily illuminating a single window. Inside, a woman stood before a mirror. Not glass, but something darker. Its surface rippled like water, reflecting her image back with unsettling distortion. The woman was beautiful, yes, but beauty twisted into something cruel. "Mirror, mirror," she hissed, voice like shattered ice. "Who is the fairest one of all?" The mirror's surface swirled. Images flickered through it, a raven with blood-stained feathers, a skull half buried in the earth, and finally, the face of Snow White, frozen in terror. A smile spread across the woman's face. It wasn't a pleasant thing. She may run, mirror, but she cannot hide. She will be mine. The forest was a labyrinth. Twisted paths led nowhere. Thorns tore at Snow White's skin, leaving trails of blood like crimson tears. She no longer knew if she was running from something or towards it. There were whispers in the shadows, voices that seemed to come from the trees themselves. They spoke her name, beckoning her deeper into the darkness. She stumbled upon a clearing. 7 gnarled trees stood in a circle, their branches intertwined like skeletal fingers. At their base, something flickered, a faint light, beckoning. Exhausted, terrified, Snow White stumbled towards it. She did not see the eyes that watched her from the darkness. She did not hear the laughter, thin and sharp as broken glass. He had been a hunter once, the Queen's finest tracker, feared for his skill with a blade. But the forest had changed him, twisted him into something hollow and haunted. He carried a heart in a box, not a heart of flesh and blood, but something colder, heavier. It pulsed with a rhythm that matched the whispers in his head, the Queen's whispers. He had been tasked to bring Snow White's heart. But the forest had other plans. It showed him visions, a young woman with eyes like the sky, a creature of nightmare, with a hunger that could never be satisfied. He knelt in the dirt, the box pulsing beside him. He had a choice to make, one that would bind him to the forest, for good or ill. The light led to a cave. Within, tunnels snaked deeper into the earth, held up by timbers old as time. Dwarves toiled in the darkness, but these were not the jolly creatures of old tales. Their skin was ashen, their eyes glowed with an unnatural light. Their pickaxes rang against the stone, a mournful song. They welcomed Snow White as one of their own, offered her food, shelter, a place among them. But their kindness felt hollow, their smiles strained. They were prisoners here, as surely as she was. The whispers were louder here. They seemed to emanate from the very rock, speaking of ancient things, of forgotten magic. They spoke of the Queen and her hunger for beauty that stretched back generations. Snow White smiled, but her heart was cold. She knew with chilling certainty that she would never escape this place. The apple was red, a single splash of colour in the grey world of the mines. It glistened as if wet with dew, though no rain fell in this place. One of the dwarves offered it to her, his smile shaky, his eyes pleading. Snow White took a bite. The taste was sweet, cloying. It spread through her like a poison, but a welcome one. She sank to the ground, the world blurring around the edges. She dreamt then, but not of rescue, not of princes. She dreamt of the Queen, her beauty a horrifying mask, her laughter echoing through endless halls. She dreamt of the forest, its trees twisting into monstrous shapes, its shadows reaching out to claim her. When she woke, she was still in the mine. But everything was changed. The dwarves were gone, the light had vanished, leaving only an oppressive darkness, and she was trapped.